Hello everyone. We're doing a Cooking with Gigi show today. I'm at my client's house. They love for me to do this here. So I make a lot of food for them, and today I had a request from the husband to make a creamy, cheesy chicken and broccoli casserole. So I have prepared my 9x13 pan with some Pam, so it's ready to go. I need to grab a bowl. I forgot to do that. Grab this big bowl here. Okay, now then. So we're gonna start off by putting the creamy mixture into the bowl, which will call for a half a cup of sour cream. Sour cream is always good in casseroles. It really adds some zing to it and helps it to be creamy, so that's good. So we have that. We need 1 can of cream of chicken soup, and it was on sale today for $1, which is pretty good compared to the dorm. I was excited about that. I do use a lot of these cream soups on some of these casseroles, so they come in handy. They make it creamy. Remembering that, you know, you might want to back off on your salt because your soups do have some salt in it. Okay. So I do have here already measured 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and a half a teaspoon of onion powder. So we're good with that. Put that right in the bowl. I'm getting all my stuff in there. It takes a half a cup of milk, so we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna stir that up. So we'll make all the creamy stuff. Now I am going to do something a little different than what the recipe normally had called for, because that's what Gigi does. She mixes things up a little. I'm gonna add some shredded cheddar cheese to the creamy casserole on the inside. It just mainly called for it to be on the top, but I'm thinking it needs some cheese inside the casserole. I love cheesy stuff, so we're gonna go ahead and bring our cheese over from over here. Now let's remember that Gigi likes to grate her own cheese because it will melt better. It will be creamier. That cheese in the bags, it just doesn't really melt that good. I'm gonna put about a cup of this cheese in here, okay? All right, so we got the cheese in. Now that will melt when it's baking in the oven, which will make it a little bit cheesier. It'll also give it some salt. So that's why I'm gonna kind of back off on the salt today. All right, that's kind of what this is looking like. Milk, sour cream, chicken soup. I am gonna add some pepper though, because it says to salt and pepper it to taste. And again, I'm gonna back off on the salt. And my clients would rather not have so much salt because it's not so good for them. But you've already got salt in all these other things. So I'm gonna do a little more than 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. All right. So I'm gonna put that and get that stirred in there. Really good, because we want that pepper mixed in all through your creamy sauce. Okay, so I have already cooked my broccoli. Now you can use frozen broccoli, you could use fresh broccoli, you would steam your fresh broccoli, but I did boil it lightly because it's gonna cook more in the oven, so you don't wanna overcook it so it's mushy. 4 cups of broccoli goes in. All right, so there's the broccoli going into the casserole. I have set my oven already for 350 degrees, so it is preheated. All right, we've got the broccoli in. Now I'm also gonna go ahead and add my chicken. You can probably add what you want. I'll tell you how I fixed this chicken. I bought chicken tenders. Now you can use chicken breasts, but usually if I'm gonna bake it in the oven, I would sort of slice it thinner because it would cook faster and more evenly rather than put a whole chicken breast in the oven. You want to take your chicken. You can even beat it a little bit if you want it more tender. You don't have to for this recipe. Then olive oil on the outside of your chicken meat and salt and pepper each side. Put it on a cookie sheet with either foil or parchment paper. When my chicken came out, it just shredded with 2 forks, so easy. I was very impressed. I'm gonna see how that is. That looks like that's about 3 cups of chicken right there, I believe. So I'm gonna mix that on in too. Broccoli, chicken, yummy. Doesn't that look good? I think I'll add just another little handful of that chicken. I'd say that the dogs are gonna get some chicken, or we can make some chicken salad out of what's left. It's gonna have plenty of shredded chicken in here. Okay, now we have that pretty well all mixed together. So I'm going to now take my 9 by 13 pan that's been spread with Pam. I wish I could adjust this so you can see things better, but because I'm not at home, I can't adjust it very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour in the chicken and the broccoli so that you can see it going in. Okay, here we go. That works. I did put pepper. I did not add salt because I added that cheese. The soup is also salty. So we're putting all of that in, and all that creaminess is going in. Now I'm going to try to make sure I get all of that out into my pan. So I'll do this. Well, it's a cold day here in Indiana, my goodness. It snowed the other day when I was actually, believe it or not, putting up my Christmas tree. I know it's early, but I do put up quite a bit of stuff, and I really like to enjoy it. I love sitting in my recliner at night watching my favorite TV show with my Christmas lights on. So enjoyable. Okay, so I have all that in my pan. I'm gonna show you how that looks. There's my casserole with all that yummy stuff. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I get it all even in there. If I think I need more chicken, I can put it in, but I think I'm good on the chicken. All right, now, here's something I haven't told you about yet. We're gonna do, this is a cup of cracker crumbs. I just took my hands and I took out some Ritz crackers, approximately a sleeve, and I measured it, and it's about a cup. And I'm going to pour in about 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and I did use unsalted butter just because I'm trying not to add so much salt like I told you. And I'm going to stir the crackers with the butter. Make sure there's plenty of butter on all the crackers. This is gonna go on top of the casserole. Yummy. Okay, I think I had that in pretty good shape. Now, before I do that, I'm adding some Parmesan cheese, shredded, not the grated. I've got the shredded Parmesan here. See, it's this kind. So you don't want you want the shredded, not the grated. So I'm sprinkling that all over the top. Again, that's kind of salty, so that's why we're backing off on the salt. Here is our shredded sharp cheddar. You want sharp because it gives you more flavor. So I'm using sharp cheddar. I want you to see kind of how that's looking. I know you can't see it very good. Maybe if I bend this down a little bit, it would help. It wants to fall forward when I do that, folks. That's the problem. Maybe if I back this off like this. Okay, so I'm gonna finish with my cheese on the top. And then on top of that, I need just a little more of that cheese. I thought maybe I better save it. Okay, here we go. Cheese, cheese, cheese. We're just gonna use it all. Make sure it's all over the top of that casserole. Okay. Here we go. We're spreading it all over. Boy, that's looking nice. Take a look. That's how it's looking. Yummy. One more thing we're gonna put on top will be our crackers, and here they come. Making sure they've got plenty of butter all mixed around. All right, so I take the crackers and I'm just gonna sprinkle them all over the top. That butter will help it to be crispy. The crackers would just be dry if you didn't put the butter in there. That wouldn't be very good. You know, you can actually take any kind of a a casserole recipe, you can change it up to meet what you would like. Just like I put extra cheese in the casserole. You know, something that might have been good in here, bacon bits might have been good in here. So you can do whatever you like. Of course, the more things you add, the more calories and the more cost. I'm gonna put you on hold a minute. I'm gonna put this in the 350-degree oven. We'll be back in a few minutes. I want you guys to see these pretty dogs that they have here. Come here, buddy, Bailey. Yes, aren't they pretty? I've been giving them a little bit of chicken. They just love it when Gigi's cooking because they can usually get some extra food from Gigi. Right there, aren't they cute? So this one happens to be Buddy. And this one is, here we go, Bailey. There's Bailey. Say hi to Bailey. Such adorable dogs, they're very sweet. Okay, everyone, we have our casserole. The cheesy chicken and broccoli casserole is finished. It's really hot. I'm gonna take just a little corner. I don't like to do that because I'm at my clients, but they won't get mad. Most of them, they're pretty nice, you know. They're generous. All right, it's really hot, but I'm gonna take a little bite. It's really hot. Very cheesy. Good flavor. They're making fun of me over here. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking with Gigi. Bye-bye.